Chocolate can be a $1 candy bar or a luxury square treated like wine. The candy bar is the version most people meet first. Sweet, creamy, wrapped, portable, and built for instant pleasure. It usually blends cocoa solids, cocoa butter or added fats, milk ingredients, and fillings like caramel, wafers, peanuts, or nougat. But here's the twist. A candy bar is often less about pure cacao and more about texture engineering. The snap, chew, crunch, and melt are designed to hit fast. It tastes sweet, roasted, and familiar, but behind that wrapper is the ingredient that changes everything: milk chocolate.
Milk chocolate is the soft middle of the chocolate world. It takes cacao, sugar, and milk, then turns sharp bitterness into something creamy, buttery, and easy to love. Modern milk chocolate became famous through European innovation, especially when milk powder helped chocolate become smoother and more stable. Most people don't know this. Milk does not just make chocolate sweeter, it changes how the cocoa tastes, rounding bitter notes into caramel, malt, and warm dairy flavors. That is why milk chocolate melts gently and feels comforting. But remove some sweetness, raise the cacao, and the same bean becomes darker, sharper, and far more serious.
Dark chocolate is where cacao stops hiding. Instead of leaning on milk, it pushes cocoa solids forward so the flavor can turn bitter, earthy, nutty, floral, or even fruity. The percentage on the wrapper usually tells you how much comes from cacao ingredients, not how sweet or healthy it automatically is. That sounds simple until you learn two 70% bars can taste completely different. Roasting, fermentation, bean origin, and sugar level all change the final bite. Good dark chocolate can feel silky, dry, smoky, or bright. But long before dark chocolate became a premium bar, cacao was often drunk, not eaten.
Mexican drinking chocolate keeps chocolate close to its older form. It is usually made from ground cacao, sugar, cinnamon, and sometimes almonds, vanilla, or chili, then whisked into hot water or milk. Instead of a perfectly smooth bar, it can taste grainy, spicy, warm, and deeply roasted. The strange part is that texture is part of the charm. You feel the sugar, smell the cinnamon, and taste cacao as something closer to a ritual than a snack. In Mexico, chocolate has roots far deeper than dessert. But when chefs want chocolate that behaves perfectly in a kitchen, they usually reach for a different kind.
Couverture is the chocolate chef's trust when appearance matters. It contains extra cocoa butter, which helps it melt fluidly, coat evenly, and set with a glossy finish when tempered correctly. This is the chocolate behind shiny bonbons, thin shells, dipped fruit, and elegant dessert decorations. But chefs care about it for a completely different reason: flow. A thick chocolate can taste good and still fail as a coating. Couverture moves like silk, then hardens with a clean snap. Its flavor can be bitter, creamy, nutty, or fruity, depending on the recipe. And then there is the pale version that many people argue about.
White chocolate looks like it escaped the cacao world, but it still comes from the cacao bean. The key ingredient is cocoa butter, the pale fat pressed from the cacao, blended with sugar, milk solids, and often vanilla. It has no cocoa solids, so it lacks the roasted brown flavor of dark or milk chocolate. That is why some people say it is not real chocolate. But here's the twist. Legally, in places like the United States, white chocolate has a defined standard when it contains enough cocoa butter and dairy. It tastes creamy, sweet, buttery, and vanilla-like. The next one flips color completely.
Ruby chocolate is the pink outsider. Introduced commercially in the 21st century, it is known for a rosy color and a tangy, berry-like taste, without added berry flavor or color in the original process. The strange part is how divisive it became. Some people saw it as a new chocolate category, others saw clever processing and marketing. Either way, the experience is real. Smooth like milk chocolate, but brighter, fruitier, and slightly sour. It can look delicate and almost unreal beside dark bars.
But color is only one way chocolate becomes special. The next version gets its value from geography. Single origin chocolate is chocolate with a passport. Instead of blending beans from many places, it highlights cacao from one country, region, estate, or cooperative. That does not automatically make it better, but it can make it more specific. Madagascar bars are often described as bright and fruity. Some Ecuadorian cacao can feel floral. West African cacao is often used for strong, classic chocolate flavor. The point is terroir. Soil, climate, variety, fermentation, and local handling all leave fingerprints. This is where chocolate starts tasting less like candy and more like a place. But some cacao is rare not because of place alone, but genetics. Criollo and fine flavor cacao are the words luxury chocolate loves to whisper. Criollo is often associated with delicate, aromatic cacao, while Trinitario blends fine flavor with stronger field performance. In the cocoa trade, fine flavor beans are treated separately from ordinary bulk cacao, often because buyers want distinctive aroma, color, or origin character. But here's the twist. These names can be oversimplified. Genetics, farming, and fermentation matter more than a romantic label. At its best, fine cacao can taste floral, nutty, honeyed, and gentle, with less harsh bitterness. And to understand why people prize it, we have to go much further back.
Ancient cacao was not a candy bar. It was often a drink, a ritual ingredient, and in some Mesoamerican cultures, even a valuable trade item. Archaeological work has pushed cacao's story deep into the ancient Americas, with evidence of use thousands of years ago. Early cacao drinks could be bitter, foamy, earthy, and mixed with spices or other local ingredients. No milk chocolate sweetness, no shiny wrapper, just a powerful seed with social meaning. Most people don't know this. Chocolate began closer to ceremony than dessert. But one surviving style in Europe still protects a rough, old-fashioned way of making chocolate.
Cioccolato di Modica is Sicily's protected chocolate with a deliberately grainy bite. Made in Modica, it is linked to a cold working method where sugar crystals do not fully melt into the cacao mass. Instead of becoming silky and polished, the bar stays crunchy, sandy, and intensely aromatic. In 2018, the name received European Protected Geographical Indication status, which means the product is tied to a specific place and production rules. That legal protection matters because the texture is not a flaw, it is the identity. It tastes bold, dry, and rustic. But smooth chocolate depends on a different secret: crystal control.
Tempered chocolate is science disguised as elegance. When melted chocolate cools, cocoa butter can form different crystal structures. The right temper gives chocolate a glossy surface, a firm snap, and a clean melt on the tongue. The wrong temper can turn it dull, streaky, soft, or covered with harmless white bloom. That sounds like decoration until you learn texture changes flavor perception. A well-tempered shell breaks cleanly, melts evenly, and releases aroma at the right moment. It feels silky instead of waxy. But before chocolate reaches that perfect crystal state, the most important flavor work happens much earlier, on the farm.
Bean-to-bar chocolate begins where most chocolate stories skip ahead: fermentation. Fresh cacao beans are surrounded by sweet white pulp, then piled, covered, and left for microbes to transform them. Yeasts and bacteria change the pulp, heat the mass, and help create flavor precursors inside the beans. After drying, roasting reveals those hidden notes as chocolate. This is where the story changes, because fermentation can make cacao taste fruity, floral, nutty, or flat and harsh. It is messy, hot, fragrant, and difficult to control, often for days. Serious makers obsess over it, but not every chocolate-like product follows this path honestly.
Compound chocolate is one of the most misunderstood things in the candy aisle. It looks like chocolate, melts like chocolate, and coats cookies beautifully, but it often replaces cocoa butter with vegetable fats.
That makes it cheaper, easier to handle, and more stable in warm conditions, but the mouthfeel changes. Real cocoa butter melts close to body temperature, giving chocolate that silky, disappearing finish. Compound coatings can feel waxier or slower to melt. This does not make them useless. They are practical for mass production and decoration, but it explains why some chocolatey coatings taste flat. And now we end with cacao treated almost like treasure.
Chuao Cacao is one of chocolate's legendary names. It comes from a small coastal village in Venezuela, long associated with carefully handled cacao and a reputation that makes chocolate makers pay attention. The luxury is not just the bean. It is isolation, tradition, traceability, demand, and the difficulty of getting real cacao from a famous origin. In the best bars, the flavour can feel deep, nutty, fruity, and elegant, with a long roasted finish. So the next time you unwrap chocolate, remember, it is not just candy. It is farming, fermentation, law, chemistry, history, money, and memory in one bite. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, watch the video on screen about every coffee bean explained.